Boom! What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larsen with Sales Funnel Radio. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about just starting to publish in general.
I've spent the last 4 years learning from the most brilliant marketers today. And now I've left my 9-to-5 to take the plunge and build my $1 million business. The real question is, how will I do it without VC funding or debt, completely from scratch? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my online business, using only today's best internet sales funnels. My name is Steve Larsen, and welcome to Sales Funnel Radio.
What's up? Hey, I am a little bit sunburnt. Just got back from a little cruise, which is very fun. But I'm definitely a little bit burnt, though. Hey, every single Tuesday, I actually get this question more and more now. Every single Tuesday, what I do is I leave Tuesday morning open to just get on anyone's show that they want me to. And a lot of you guys know that. A lot of you guys have seen that. The times are usually pretty packed up. But anyway, it's interviewsteve.com, right? And I had this amazing person come on and set up a time with me in interviewsteve.com. And so every Tuesday, I just kind of wake up, I get ready for the day, and then I just see who's scheduled time for me to get on their shows. And I'm super proud of this last one that just happened. This was, you guys all know, I mean, if you've listened to my podcast at all and you've never heard me say, everyone should publish, like I think you're probably lying. I say it all the time, and it's something that has changed my life. I am massively convinced, okay, if you want to increase your income, especially on the internet, guys, the checklist is very simple, okay? Step number 1, right? Create some content. Step number 2, keep offering people stuff. Step number 3, keep getting attention. Step number 4, I really don't know what the steps are beyond that. It's super simple, okay? Step number 5, just go back to number 1, okay? Truly, that's it, okay? Daily, that's kind of the thing that I do. I create content, I make sure that I offer something to somebody, and I just kind of keep getting attention, okay? For my business and what I do. So, what I'm excited about, the thing that always makes me most pumped is when somebody is just starting out and they go set up a time with me to get on their show. I have, right now I'm currently a 2 Comma Club X coach. I am a 1 funnel away coach. I'm the guy that yells at everybody every day. And then I also have my own programs, Offer Lab, right? I have another program in the MLM space. I spend a lot of time coaching. And the theme of everyone needs to publish is something that happens regardless of what everyone is in. That's like one of the major things that I tell people to go do. And funny enough, I know someone is most likely going to have a successful funnel if they start publishing. Publishing is like the safety net, okay? It's the parachute for all the stuff. Frankly, you can stop listening to 80% of the tactics I teach you and just publish consistently. Come back to me in a year and tell me that your life's not different, okay? Seriously, it's that powerful. So I always get really pumped whenever I have somebody who's brand new come on. And I don't care if it's a new show or whatever, right? So I'll get on new or existing show. And anyways, what I wanted to do today is I actually want to cut over to an interview. This is with her permission. This is Angela Clark. If you guys don't know Angela Clark, she is completely brand new in this space. Does not have right, at the time we were recording this, right, her show is just barely launching. I think I'm the first episode, okay? I don't care. That's great. That's awesome. And what I want to do is I want to cut over. She created a podcast called Side Hustle Strategies, which I think is a great name. And I went in and got to get interviewed and got to chat on her show. And what I want to turn your attention to 2 things. Number 1, she's just doing it. Okay, she's just doing it. She's doing it, which I'm so thankful for. Number 2, listen to the types of questions that she's asking me, which I love. Not all interviewers are good at it, okay? And she's very, very good at it. It was awesome. It's one of my favorites that I've done recently. And anyway, I'll typically do 2-3 episodes, interviews every Tuesday morning with just, I don't even care who, okay? And I'll just get on, and it helps me keep connected with the audience, helps me understand where people's questions are, helps me understand who the other influencers to be or currently are. Nice to see the influencers to be out there. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut over to the interview that I asked her when we were done. I was like, do you mind if I put that on Sales Funnel Radio? She said, yes, absolutely. She said, go for it. And I said, I want people to see that you're just doing it, okay? This happens more often than not. It's new people that are interviewing me, okay? I'd say about half, actually. About half of the time I'm interviewing, someone's interviewing me, it's usually for a news show or blog or whatever. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool to just capture one of them, toss it up here, and put it up. And please, again, notice the simplicity of her questions. Notice her ability to ask questions. This is one of the reasons I like to get interviewed so much, guys. Okay, there's a strategy underneath that I am using. Okay, not only is it helpful because I get interviewed all over the place, what's cool is that I've noticed when I'm being interviewed, I tend to dive into topics and teachings and strategies and things that I have a hard time replicating without somebody asking me questions. It's one of the reasons I ask you guys in my group, The Science of Selling Online. I ask you guys in my group a lot of stuff. I'm trying to see like where the holes are, because to me, I see, right, there's a model in my head. There's a picture, a framework in my head. But I need to know where your questions are, right? So what I think is cool is if go look at, anyways, we're going to cut straight over to the episode here in just a second. But listen to the way she's asking questions, which I was very impressed by. Great job, Angela. But then also listen to how I'm able to respond. And if you have here's what I'm getting at. If you have a hard time like creating content, or you have a hard time teaching what you do, stop asking yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let it come from your own head. Get someone to ask you a whole bunch of questions. Let them pull it out of you, and then go delete all their questions, and boom, you have a course. Or boom, you got the podcast. Or boom, right? So anyways, it's just, there's a lot of lessons with this. I'm trying to help display with this. It's not something I normally would do. I'm super proud to just have a whole bunch of people who have actually started their shows. And I know a lot of you guys, there's a lot of you guys listening to this who now have podcasts, who now have, I don't care what you publish on, a consistent blog or Facebook or whatever it is. I don't care. The fact is to actively be talking. If you're not speaking, no one knows you exist, okay? And somehow you will buy your customer, whether it's with your time or your money. And if you're like, Steven, I don't have money for ads. Well, you better be willing to spend some time then. One of the best ways I know to duplicate time is to create content, because I have to do it once. It lives on the internet forever. Now I have hundreds. I mean, between my two shows, I got like 300, almost 400 episodes now, I think, which is crazy, right? That's a lot of hooks that are never gonna die my entire life, that are out there pulling people into my world and adding value, right? So if you're not willing to spend money, be willing to spend time, right? And it would suck to walk around the street and just be like, hey, can I tell you my recent podcast episode? They're like, no, I'd rather duplicate my time and by creating content. So one of the biggest hacks of the game, again, create content, make offers to people consistently, and it's kind of it. Gain attention. There you go. There's the hack. There's like the big secret, and that's all I'm doing. You guys see me do that all the time. So, and one of the easiest ways to buy your customers and making it a real asset on the internet is by consistently publishing. So anyways, let's cut over there to Angela's podcast interview with Side Hustle Strategies, which I thought was a great name. Guys, thanks so much. Let's cut over there now. And if you liked it, if you liked what she's asking, go say hi to her and thank her as well. I thought it'd be kind of fun and neat to just do this. Bye, guys.
All right. So obviously, so I know you from ClickFunnels fame, Sales Funnel Radio, Secret MLM hacks. So for those who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah, totally. I was newly married 7 years ago. I call myself the 7-year overnight success story. Failed my face off on tons of business attempts. You know, my wife and I, we could barely feed ourselves, and life was really intense for a while. And I know a lot of people, you know, in that scenario sometimes. And so we could barely feed ourselves. It was a college town, so no one was getting jobs for more than like $3 an hour. And it was a new town we moved to. Didn't know many people. She didn't have a job. I couldn't get a job. It was crazy. You know, there's more students than there were jobs. And I was like, we're gonna die. You know, I gotta figure out a way to make money. And I asked my dad to float us some cash while we waited for some student loans to come in, just so we could just have like a base, right? And then I was gonna go run hard and try and make some more money some other way. And thankfully, he was on the phone and he goes, son, no, right? And he goes, if I give you this money, he said, you will not exhaust the resources you didn't know you had. And it was really intense. It was very wise of him, though, to say that to me. And I just started a little early, I think. That's why we didn't die. But I have the fire in the gut, the provide that I think most people just fail to ever. It never really gets lit, you know? And when you have that fire, little details that you otherwise get stuck on, they don't really matter as much. How am I going to figure this out? Doesn't matter. Like, do I need to know that? No, like run, right? And so it gave me this lens of action of what was just like move, right? Versus like get focused on all and distracted by all these other things. So I started trying all these businesses. and none of them were working. And I was spending money we frankly really didn't have, and trying to make something just kick off.
Mhm.
And over 3.5 years, 4 years, I went through 12 business attempts, and they all failed or kind of broke even. And each time though, I was learning some stuff. It was very valuable stuff. And I was in college for marketing and business and entrepreneurship, and so I started learning more in these attempts than what I was learning in my classes, right?
Mhm.
And started getting into fights with people, or my teachers over different principles. And I was like, no, you make money like that. I've tried what you just said. It doesn't work very well that way. I'm doing it right now, right? It doesn't work. And but anyway, anyway, so and I just be praying to God in the evenings, like, please help me find a way. It's not that I'm not willing to go through pain. I am. I'm in it right now, And he totally guided me, though, I believe, in failures that were needed for my future success. And that's really interesting, to think about it that way. And I started I started blowing up these different businesses and trying these different things and running into ClickFunnels. And I saw ClickFunnels for the first time. And if you guys don't know what ClickFunnels is, it's basically a way to sell things online or offline, but it allows you to have higher average cart values. Basically, meaning people spend more money with you, buying more of your things that they probably wouldn't have otherwise because you just didn't ask them. So you make more money. It's really cool. And you don't have to be a coder to put these things out on the internet. And I'm not. I don't know how to code. I have no idea how to do that stuff. And I started making all these sales funnels. Still didn't have much money. And I was like, I gotta get next to this guy. Who made this software? Russell Brunson. Who? This guy, does he even shave? Like, this guy looks freaking young. Should I even trust him? You know what I mean? And I was like, who is this guy? And I had my own
Yeah,
reservations
he
the
does
first
have
time I saw him. I was like,
that of like
he looks like he's
12-year-old.
12. And he's just a very young looking guy. If you don't know who he is, everybody. And we're good friends, so I can say that, and I don't think he'll get mad. um, anyway, so I was like, I got to go to his event. And his event, I was in college still. I was about to graduate. It's like, I can't get to his event. So I started changing the question in my mind. This is towards the end of college now for me at that time. I was like, what if I just get resourceful because I don't have resources? And I was like, well, I could learn how to build one of these funnel things. What's these sales funnels? And I went and I started trading funnels for tickets to his next event, and funnels for plane tickets, and funnels for hotel nights. And like, I bootstrapped my way to his event. And I showed up, and I was nerdy enough in their software that they knew who I was when I walked up to their event. He said, "What's your name?" It's like, "Steve Larsen." And the guy looked up and he goes, "You're the guy pulling off all that Star Wars ninja crap in our software, right?" That's exactly what he said. And I said, "I don't know." He's like, "You are. I need you to apply to ClickFunnels." And I ended up getting 5 job offers at their event. And 1 week later, I graduated, and 3 days later, I was sitting next to Russell as his funnel builder. He's just super fast, really fast pace. So
Wow,
kind of
that's great.
kind of the quick and dirty.
So, all right. So now, today, what drives you to do the work that you do?
Honestly, I felt so much shame, which is stupid. Maybe I shouldn't have, but the fact that I couldn't provide just destroyed all semblance of self-esteem for me. I started coming home right after we got married to our apartment, and I'd walk in, and I remember a little bit into our marriage, I would come back home to our little apartment. It was overpriced. We barely had any money. Neither of us could get jobs. We really had no income. For some reason, I wasn't thinking about that. It was honeymoon phase, mad in love, and I just anyway, I started coming home. My wife would still be in bed, and she'd already graduated college. And I was like, "You okay? We all right? You okay?" She's like, "Oh yeah." So all right, all right. So I'd go back the next day to school, come back home, same thing. It's like, "You okay?" She's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's nothing. It's fine." Same thing, day after day after day after day. And I finally got her to admit to me, and she didn't want to tell me because she didn't want to hurt my feelings. She had only been eating one meal a day because we did not have money.
Wow.
And she had been doing that so long, she physically was weak. I had no idea. She was literally eating like some beans. And when I found that out, and all the while, like, still making me lunches so I could have energy in school. and she would just eat like a scant meal at dinner with me in the evenings, and that was what she was eating. And it just like, I mean, I'm telling you, it destroyed me, right? A lot of men get their identity on based on how well they provide or what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't do it. And I didn't, it rocked my world, rocked everything. And like, I can't describe the pain, and it didn't leave, right? It was that way. That's when I called my dad and said, "Hey, will you give me some cash?" And he said no. And which is great. I'm glad he did. And I went and just started running. I mean, just trying stuff. The pain, the level of shame. I felt like I had to hide that from people. I was in classes trying to focus, but knew my wife was like starving at home. You know, it's like it was crazy. It was nuts. It was super nuts. That went on for a really long time. So what drives me today is, you know, I'm the capitalist pig, right? I'm my intent to make a lot of money, and but do it in a way that provides a lot of value for the world. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, which is great. And what drives me is to help install that belief in people's brains rather than this weird belief a lot of people have around cash, right? Make
Mm-hmm.
money, make a lot of it because that lets you go help people at a faster pace than you could if you didn't have money. And what drives me is that. And when I see people who are still like in that zone I was at the beginning of our marriage, like that. Whew, oh my gosh, that I
So,
still like you can tell like still even like I'm not over it. That was very challenging. It was hard on me, and I don't
so
want people to feel
what
like they're
advice would you give to someone who's stuck, who's in that place, who maybe is discouraged and
yeah.
not able to see the light at the end of the tunnel? What advice would you give to someone to kind of muster that energy to move on?
Few things. It's a great question. The first thing I would tell you to do is, and I was doing this right. So a lot of these lessons I know because I was doing the exact opposite of it, and that's why I learned the lesson. Right? You cannot right? If you want you want depression, here's how you get it. Okay, you cannot compare yourself to another person's success or the speed that they gained it in. It was the fastest way an entrepreneur or someone who's trying to make it in this game dies. The only way, right? What ends up happening is if you start comparing yourself to these ideals, oh, that guy did it in that speed. I guarantee that's not true, nor is it the first thing they tried, right? Oh, look how fast that lady did it. Look how fast that person had success. Like, that's the visible side, right? All of us have years of just trying and trying and trying and beating on our craft, right? What's interesting is like ideals aren't measurable. Like ideal pop culture changes every second, right? And if I measure myself to an ideal, I will never hit it because I can't measure it. It's therefore unattainable. And so I end up measuring my self esteem, my self worth, my value to myself and others based on something that is constantly shifting and is fictitious. And so that's totally a huge thing in the entrepreneur world today, right? Entrepreneurship finally and thankfully is cool now, right? It's awesome. It's super cool. It's like this big fad. It's like, oh, so awesome. But what's funny is like if I go in and I go and rent a freaking Lambo to take a picture in front of and make on my Facebook profile picture, like, because that's what I think causes success. I need an image. It's like, that's the most jacked up crap on the planet. And it's not true. And those types of people I've noticed that they'll ride this little high, but because it's based off of things that are fake, they crash real hard because all of their worth, all their business worth, all their sense of self is based on something that is constantly shifting. The way around that, the only way around that is to compare, sit around and be like, oh man, what? I'm a bad mamma jamma. Look what I did yesterday that I could not have done 6 months ago, right? My level of opportunities change based on how I change. And the whole game is a game of progression. And so when I can sit back and be like, man, like I got the nicest kid award in high school. It's not because I was nice, man. It's because I was a shy, right? No one knew that. And I had to overcome speaking. I had to overcome fear of adults that was near clinical. I had to overcome a lot of stuff. I was dumb. I was kicked out of my first semester of college. I didn't know how to study. And like, I am the least likely success story based off of everything I'm telling you right now. And it's because like the only way I got around it was by comparing me to me yesterday, right? Like, what are something, and in that way, I stopped comparing myself to others. I stopped looking at the clock of others. I know I'm totally ranting right now, but like this is a huge thing that
Well,
changed
no,
my
but you
life.
touched on something important. I mean, okay, so like I've seen lots of your videos, And I've heard you tell a little bit of the story before about being very shy.
Yeah,
So in my head, like I've got two kids and I've got one that's really reserved,
sure.
with most people. And but at home, she's a wild woman.
Yeah, yes, exactly. At home, you would have no idea.
Right. So my question for you is, because I think that that's pretty important. There may be a lot of people out there who have a hard time putting themselves out there. Like Russell Brunson has said himself that, he considers himself, a more introverted person. But when
Oh,
you
yes.
see him, he's like, "Wah!"
Yeah.
So where do you get that from? Where do you muster that energy, to be on, like on demand?
Well, I think the biggest thing someone can do that will also destroy them is they start to self-hate,
Mm,
right? They're like, man, I'm not that person, or I don't have those characteristics or qualities or whatever. I can't become the attractive character of my business, and that'll just wreck them. Instead, like everything that I know that is not going to be an aid in my business. His name is Steven,
mm,
and he's shy and he's a little bit more reserved. I wouldn't say I'm shy, but I'm a little more reserved. And anyway, I would not be wearing shirts like this, or like, "Rah!" People ask all the time, Steven, how do you have so much energy all the time? I have a lot of energy when I need to become Steve. Okay, Steve is the second person I created. And I know it's stupid and this sounds really weird, but like even Tony Robbins teaches that, we all have multiple personalities inside of us. And so there's Steven, and Steven, he's cool. He's the man. He's everything that I needed to be in order to learn the painful lessons I needed to create Steve, though. Steve, and most of the time I'm Steven. Okay, Steve, that dude's nuts. He is a killer on stage. Oh my gosh, he's the one talking to you right now. He destroys the microphone. He tells Russell Brunson to get stage insurance because he's going to try and crack it, right? He is the man. He's a deliverer. Like, I love Steve. And so, like, every time I'm about to go on a video or I do one of these or I go and I'm about to record a podcast, I take a moment to become Steve. And it sounds weird, but like I had to do it that way because otherwise I would have just stayed this reserved kind of shy. There's no way. There's no way I'm gonna get on video. Like I would not be doing this at all,
So
even
what does
3
that
years ago.
transition look like? I mean, are you like amped up on music? Is it caffeine?
It's a little bit, it's not much. I don't really take a ton of caffeine. When I do take a lot of caffeine, it jacks me up. So anyway, but it's a little bit of caffeine. A lot of times though, it's a mentality that I'm taking on, and this sounds kind of dark, but one of the things that I try to do is, man, it's so funny. Like the moment you start trying to level up your game, you get a lot of lovers and haters though. It's like you are the Red Sea, it's like the split. That's what you're walking. And so both voices get louder. So what I decided to do for quite a while, I cared too much about what people thought about me. And so what I decided to do, and I didn't mean to make this a public thing. It was actually just for me. I went and I bought this heavy bag, this punching bag that's shaped as a human. And I wrote on it poverty. And I beat the crap out of that thing on a regular basis. And it's like this little self-therapy that I will walk through. And if I need to become Steve, like, and maybe that thing's not around, I'll imagine beating the snot out of it. But what I do is I write every single thing that's negative that I'm hearing from my audience or another audience or online. I write it on the freaking dummy. Like, this is so different. Like, most of the time, what I realized what I was trying to do is act like the negativity wasn't there. And I would try and shield and shelter and be like, it's not there. No. I should just move forward. Everyone just says just to move forward. For me, that was cool, but it was like this weight. And so for me to, like, in business, I compete on strengths, right? In my personal development, though, I kind of have to work on my weaknesses in order to qualify for more business opportunities. And so what I do is I write down all the negativity that I hear from the world. And people are really tough behind their computer screens, so some are just straight up jerks. So now there's just tons of words all over it. Not enough, terrible, stutter, say too many ums, big eyes, or anything that's like anything that's negative. They're like, right, you're not gonna make it, not sustainable, watch them fail and burn, right? Stuff. They're just freaking jerks. All I'll do, I write it down and I face it instead. And I consume those, I feel it and I allow myself to feel it. And I face it, and then I'm beating it up or whatever, right? But what I'm doing is despite knowing those are there and accepting the negativity is there and accepting it's there. But despite all that stuff, I just move forward anyway. And so when I sit down in this chair, I am in a state of war. I am ready to deliver. I will provide and go to war for my family. I will make a lot of value out there, and I will make money while I do so. And that's totally awesome. But that transition zone, it was very practiced at first. I had to really work on that and meditate over it and try to, not that I'm like downplaying who I am or who I was, but realizing that my business most likely needs somebody else besides me, a new me, in order to actually run in the first place. Am I willing to become that person? And not a fake me, but somebody else. So anyways, that's part of it. Music is definitely part of it.
So let me ask you this. How
Yeah.
important was it? Because I know like with a lot of entrepreneurs, maybe they don't have support of family and friends. Was that something you had? And, how did you find your tribe to sort of, have those people that you could bounce ideas off or just be a sounding board for whatever your challenges were?
There's a lot of family and friends that are out there, who, for all of us, it's not that they're trying to be negative. They just don't understand what we do. And they don't get it at all. And frankly, the entrepreneur for a long time sucks at explaining what they do, right? So you have these two differing angles. And most of the time I found, I like, what's that book? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He's like
Great one.
yeah, super good book, right? And he's like most fights or little tiffs are a result of a misunderstanding of roles and goals. And so if you start working under a different framework, your blueprint starts to change a little bit. That can be threatening to people, can be a lot of times what I found is I remind people the things that they didn't take risks on. And so they're not telling me I'm bad or they're being mean. What they're doing is reacting to things they've tried to hide in themselves. That's a big thing that I've noticed as well. So as far as like, I was the only person that I physically knew who was doing what I was trying to in my physical sphere. There was you know what I mean? No one else was building funnels. For years, it was that way. The reason I wanted to go to Russell Brunson's event so bad is because I wanted to be around for the first time in my life other people who knew what a sales funnel even was. Even though I was in sales, I was in my sales classes, I was in entrepreneurship classes, I was in marketing classes, and we still weren't talking about how to actually make money. And anyway, so yeah, I'd say if any entrepreneur is experiencing kind of negativity with family, friends, or even just in general, like, don't act like it's not there, but just be patient with it and understand that they're operating from a lot of times a completely different mindset and have no idea. They didn't have the same epiphanies you had in order to be doing the logical things that you were doing, right? Things that you think are logical. X, Y, and Z. Most of it's just a misunderstanding and facts.
Well, great. Thanks. I think you've given some great nuggets for folks who are in the trenches or considering getting in the trenches. And so I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. Is there anything you want to share about what you're working on or where people can go to find out more information about you or maybe some of your projects or products?
Yeah, totally. I went through, I think it was Business 17, I think, for me, the one that actually worked. 17, right? After that's like crazy amount of failure. It was around business try number 12 though, where it's like everything I was launching, I didn't get it. I assumed like, I gotta have a better product. It's all about this product. I don't hear people talk about the product. And I've realized though, that's actually not true. I could sell any piece of junk, right? Most people believe like I need to have so much belief in my product. I can sell things I don't believe in though. And it's because of, and I'm not telling everyone you should go do that, but it's because of principles I've learned about marketing and sales and understanding that they're different, understanding that closing and sales are different. Those are the things that have made all the difference in the world for me. So it's around business try number 12 when I started learning what funnels even were, how to do them, how to use them. That's when really things started shifting up for me. So I love affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing, what I found is that most people get distracted by the creation of the product, so much so that they have no idea how to sell it or how they should position themselves or write copy to get attention. Mm-hmm. So what I do is I encourage everybody, if you don't have a product and you're trying to learn this game, I would actually tell you not to learn how to make a product. I would go do affiliate marketing, right? And that's why, so I created a program for this exact reason called Affiliate Outrage. AffiliateOutrage.com. It's completely free, walks you through how to market other people's products and get paid for it. It's 30 days long. I brought in all these other experts to teach all the stuff inside of it, and it's all free. But like, what I like about affiliate marketing is it lets you practice. Just because somebody else made the product doesn't mean you don't need to make marketing. So it's like marketing training wheels. That's why I like it. So I would go there.
Okay, so affiliateoutrage.com. That's where we can get more info and step-by-step instructions from you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Hey, thanks for listening. As you likely have heard in my podcast, I left my job January 2018 to build my $1 million business completely from scratch without any funding or any help. And I hit it. Right on February 1st, 2019, just 13 months later, we actually grossed $1 million, which is pretty awesome. Better yet, I got to keep a lot of the cash just because my costs are honestly not very high. That said, there's several tools, though, I use to automate vital pieces of my business, and ClickFunnels is one of them. ClickFunnels lets me build automated sales machines all over the internet that are non-stop pitching people for me. It's only $97 a month. Better yet, I don't need to be a coder. If you're asking yourself, Steven, are you giving me a blatant pitch for ClickFunnels right now? Yes, 100%. I think it's dumb when people don't use ClickFunnels, okay? It makes you more and saves you more. Basically, I have the power of an entire tech team in my hand, and I want you to have it. Go grab a free trial of ClickFunnels by going to freecftrial.com. I want everyone to have and experience the power of ClickFunnels in their business. So they're letting me hook you up at freecftrial.com.